Welcome to the Marshall News and View Show. I'm Elaine Conyers, and my guest today is Sharon Root, who is the Lyon County Environmental Educator. You've been on the show before.
Oh,
We're
yes,
always
yes.
happy to have you back
Well,
because
it's
you
fun to be here.
always have new information, good information for us. So tell me now what you're going to tell us today.
What we're going to do today, Elaine, because I didn't bring my props that we've used in the past. For one thing, it's really cold out there. And I thought, no, I'm not dragging stuff today, but I have to, because we can still talk about the subject of taking care of this environment, taking care of the earth. And so we can still talk about the recycling. And I just brought myself some props, because, you know, I have to have props, because otherwise it's not going to work. So what I thought we'd say, and people know, a lot of people know anyway why it's important to recycle. But it doesn't hurt to get reminders, and it doesn't hurt in case there's somebody new that's watching that hasn't quite gotten on board yet. This may be will be an inspiration for them to start recycling.
Exactly.
So what we're going to do is, like I said, I've got some props here, and I'll hold them up, and we can still talk about them, but I'm going to hold them up because I like some color and some graphics on here too. So one good reason to recycle stuff, because when they use recycled materials in with the mix when they're making products, you know, it's a good thing because it helps cut down on air pollution. Because the less, when you think about it, and I never used to think about it years ago until I got this job, I didn't think about all the mining and everything that went into getting the raw materials out of the earth to make for everything we have. So when they take the old stuff that we've already used and are able to put it in the mix when they're manufacturing new products, it cuts down on air pollution because it cuts down on, it takes less energy, so it cuts down on air pollution. So when you think about energy use, the less energy that we use, the less air pollution there is too. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. So when I thought about that, I thought, well, it does make sense. You know, why not use something that's still good? So thinking about that, cutting down on the air pollution, hey, we all breathe the air. So it's a good thing, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons, which is a very important reason, because I said I never used to think about the mining and the drilling and the cutting down, and I thought, oh man, when I read about a lot of that stuff, I was like floored. You know, it's not just my stuff. It's not just one person's worth, it's everybody's worth. And so you think about that, the impact. So we think about the air. And then we can think about the water too. Right? You think about stemming the water pollution. Because when it generates less water pollution because when you reuse something versus, again, starting from the get-go, you have to take that whole picture in there about the mining, the drilling, the cutting down. So all that has an effect. Then you got transportation. Then you got processing everything to make it into. So it's a whole. It's a whole process. So the less energy used and using those recycled resources again helps cut down water pollution. And there again, who doesn't need water and who doesn't want it clean?
That's right.
You know, we're very fortunate around our area that we haven't had any major problems.
That's right.
But it can happen anywhere. I think about California, just in California alone with all the problems they were having for a few years with drought. Unreal. You know, what would we do? If you had to go for a week, just even a week, and think about really having to cut down on your water? Man, I don't want to go there, you know. So I think about my water and how precious that is. That's a precious resource. Okay, so we'll put that over here. Now, another part is, which helps reduce that water and air pollution, is they don't have to use as many toxic chemicals in the process when they're using recycled stuff versus when they're using all raw materials. So it's like the cycle, the process, and thinking about it from the beginning to the end it's phenomenal. It really is. And I catch myself talking about that a lot to people because I read about it and see it, and I'm thinking, we all need to know that. That's why I always encourage people, take a look for yourself sometime. Google some, you know, Elaine, you'll agree with me on this. When we were young, did we have the internet stuff?
No.
So if you wanted to find something out, could you just go and type in something.
I had to get out the encyclopedia.
Exactly. And this stuff wasn't the same then. And so this
Oh,
technology
exactly.
is a
Yeah.
good thing,
Yeah.
but there
It's a
again,
little-
it comes into resources to make all those computers
Oh, yeah.
and to make all this stuff.
Oh, sure.
So, it's a whole picture that if people really, it changes your perspective on
Yeah.
wasting.
Yeah. That's
It
right.
really does. It changes the perspective of wasting our stuff. We're such a throwaway society.
Yes.
We can have stuff. There's nothing wrong with having the stuff, but having it and then next week I want a new one instead.
Yeah,
That's kind of
sure.
how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it seems. So I think about that, and I think, anytime you can get rid of chemicals, the toxic
Mm-hmm.
stuff, which we can talk about it a little bit too, because that's another interesting subject. Oh, now, reducing when you recycle, you don't use as much landfill space.
Okay.
Now, the landfill, we have the regional landfill here in Lyon County,
Yes.
okay? And it serves us, and I believe it's 6 other counties.
Oh.
If
Yeah.
it's not 6, it's 5 other counties
Okay.
anyway, that bring their trash to the Lyon County landfill,
Mm-hmm.
okay? When I first started this job in 1991,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I went out there, and there was some little hill, at the
Yeah.
landfill. If you go out there now and you see the hills, and if you can actually, from Highway 23, when you see those hills off to your left when you're by the landfill area
Yeah.
there, that's trash. That's
Yeah,
buried.
sure.
And I'm like, whoa. And so the recycling, plus if we can get folks to not put hazardous waste stuff in there,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
because that still goes in the trash, unfortunately, and which is polluting to our groundwater.
Sure.
And the landfills are built to capture some of that leachate, which is the water that comes down through the landfill when it rains.
Yeah,
The
sure.
moisture that goes down, it's called leachate, the stuff that comes out, and it's nasty. But if we think about that too, it makes you think, oh, I'm not going to just dump that in the trash or throw it on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, people, and I think some people still do dump their oil on the ground from their vehicles.
Oh, no.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's nasty,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, also reduces, there's some areas in the country and in the world that have incinerators.
Okay,
Where
yeah.
there's incinerators in Minnesota. But if the more we recycle, the less incineration has to be done.
Sure.
Which
Yeah.
is a good thing,
That's right.
right? That's a good thing. So, and I love this graphic, Elaine.
Yes, that's very.
Recycling of
yeah.
the paper products and stuff saves trees.
Yes.
And I found that graphic and I thought, wow, that was from my day.
Yeah.
When the peace sign in the late
yes,
60s
oh,
and
sure.
70s,
Yeah.
the peace sign started.
Yeah.
And then I thought, how perfect is that?
That's right.
The trees and then the peace sign. I'm like, yeah,
it
I
really
like that.
fits. It really fits.
It fits. So recycling our paper stuff,
Yeah.
the less trees they have to cut down, the better.
right.
If, trees, are going to be cut down because it has to happen too. It's just like with anything, but willy-nilly, if we don't have to, let's not do it, right?
Yeah.
So, keep that. I just love that graphic. I do. So, and that, along with saving the trees, protects wildlife habitat.
Oh, sure.
That's another thing we don't think about, all those little critters that are all part of the ecosystem
Yeah.
that are there for a reason, whether you like some, like I really don't know the purpose of mice and rats, but they're part of it.
Part of the environment.
And when it's a problem, they have to be taken care of, no doubt.
Right.
But when you think about the rainforests and stuff, and the boreal forests in Canada and everything, and how that's such a home to so many, and a lot of them being destroyed. So I think about that rainforest. There's a lot of folks that live there
Yeah.
in the rainforest, and there's a lot of that's being destroyed. Animals, birds. There's food comes out of there. Oh, I have to tell you something. Did you realize that a lot of medicines that we use come from the rainforest?
No, I
Did
sure
you know that?
didn't. No.
A lot of the medications used for cancer come from the
From there.
rainforest.
Wow. Oh.
That puts another spin on
Yes,
it.
it sure does.
That puts a big spin on the fact that if we just cut everything down for, soybean fields and palm oil
Yeah.
trees and stuff, and they destroy it, it's going to affect our weather too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, Sharon, things I never would have thought about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So protecting that wildlife and the diversity of the plants and everything, there might be something in that rainforest that's going to really put a turn on a cure for certain cancers
Right,
or whatever.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you don't know. So it has to be thought about before it just, and so recycling does help protect habitat and diversity of
Sure.
the plants and animals and stuff. So, and before I give you a quiz, because
Okay.
I'm going to quiz you, Elaine, but now this, I do like this graphic. Now, when you think about the reasons for recycling, taking care of this planet's a pretty good reason.
Yes.
You know, really.
Yeah.
So just even if you keep it in mind that whatever we do, reduce, reuse, recycle, save on, gasoline on trips and stuff instead of just burning fuel like crazy.
Yeah.
You think about you eat, you drink, you breathe your environment.
Yes.
That's just the way it is.
Yep.
It's just common sense. So make sure that when you don't even have to, we don't have to remember details. We don't have to remember statistics. Just keep that in mind, and it makes you want to do what you can do.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And so to me, that sums it up in saying eat, drink, breathe our environment,
Sure.
take care of it, do what we can do.
That's right.
So, well, and then I was going to ask you, because I knew you had a question for me earlier.
Yes.
So you bring that on, because I have a tendency to, I just get excited about the reasons.
Sure.
So,
Well, my question was whether the plastic bags that we carry around and the stores give us to put stuff in, and our garbage
Right.
sacks and all that, plastic stuff, I read some places that's being banned. Is that being banned here in Minnesota?
At this point, I'm not sure about if there's something going on that they're working on up towards the cities or someplace trying to ban plastic bags that the stores give out.
Yeah.
I can't remember that truthfully, but I do know there are some communities in some states. I think California's got a couple of them, and there's other places in the country where have already, I think maybe Oregon had one too, that they have banned stores for handing out plastic bags for everything.
Yeah.
Because they're a problem.
Yeah.
Plastic bags are a problem. They're a litter problem. Use a lot of oil to make plastic bags. A lot of them, it's a petroleum product, plastic
Okay,
bags.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, and so either way, plastic bags, paper bags, it's still a very polluting process to make either one of them.
Oh,
It really
even
is.
The paper,
The paper bag, though, when I read the different things about that, paper bags are very polluting to have those made. Very polluting. So I'm like, oh, Sharon, I still get a few plastic bags. My husband uses them for garbage bags in his truck. I still use some paper bags, but mostly I bring a reusable bag.
Yeah.
I try to do that as much as possible.
Right.
Because I'll tell you what, they're a lot easier to carry.
Oh, yes, they are.
Because usually I'm the only one bringing stuff in the house. And it's like either the plastic bag tears, you know, because it pokes through, or the paper bag, if you had one of those, gets wet. So
Sure.
I still do get some of those, but
yeah.
I have noticed when I use my reusable bags most of the time, I have a lot less, because people tell me and they say, man, I've got, big bag full of plastic bags in my closet,
Sure.
what am I going to do with them? Well, we have to try to cut down on using plastic
Right.
bags or getting them all the time at the store. Also, though, I will say that you can put them in the recycling.
Yeah.
Okay, but I want to tell folks how to do that, because
Okay.
otherwise it's a problem. Loose plastic bags in the recycling is a no-no. Okay, and the reason being, they get kind of lost in the shuffle. If they do make it to the place where our stuff is sorted, and they make it past, the guys don't catch them quick enough, because that stuff goes by pretty fast.
Sure.
It gets caught in machines. It's kind of like a farm, and if a farmer's in his field and he gets plastic wound around his equipment, production stops.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So if you're going to recycle some plastic bags, make sure they're clean naturally and no receipts and no stuff in them.
Right.
And then what you do is, like I do it myself, put them inside of a plastic bag, a shopping bag, and then when it gets full, I knot it shut, and then I can put it in my recycling.
Yeah.
Okay?
Now, can you actually put it in your recycling bin? I thought we had to take it
No, you
to
can
a
put it in
store.
your recycling cart. You can put
Okay.
it in your cart.
That's
but
what I
they're
want.
yes, but put it like I say,
Say,
knot them
knot
up.
'em
Yep,
up,
you
yeah.
don't have to bring them to like a store that takes
Yeah.
bags. You can put them in there. But
Okay.
that's there again, knot it shut after.
Sure.
And actually too, just so folks know, like if the plastic wrap that comes around like your toilet tissue
Oh, yes.
and your paper towels.
Yeah.
Or if you get some bubble wrap, those things can be put in that bag too.
Oh, they can. Okay.
Yep, and knot that bag shut. And what I always encourage folks to do if they, if they have a question about it, is to call us.
Sure.
Or to, get online or something to get the instructions. Because I do see, and have talked to the lady in Sioux Falls that works at the Millennium where our stuff goes, and I know problems are caused by stuff. Same as and this is a good chance for me to bring this up too, no medical waste in the recycling. No sharps, no medical waste of any type. They have a problem with that off and on, and it's a safety and health issue. Because there are employees of these places that get stuck with other people's needles. So please, folks, if you're not sure what to do with your medical waste, call, try to find out. Don't put it in the recycling. Please
Yeah.
don't put it in recycling. Even when you're going to throw it in the trash, there's a certain way to make sure that it's safe.
Oh,
okay?
really?
You can put. It's not encouraged because your sharps containers are the best thing to do. And there is information if you have questions, if you happen to use syringe needles, call. And I think our number is always listed at the end of this.
Yeah,
when we
yes.
do this, call us, please, because then we can talk to you about it. Because it is a safety and health issue.
Sure.
Okay? And
Yeah.
so I'm just I want to help alleviate any problems if I can.
Yeah.
And then by word of mouth with the viewers that share information with each other, that's how the message gets out
Yes.
there.
And that's
And
wonderful.
that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because it's helping each other because we're all learning. I'm learning something every day. It's
Oh,
just the way it is.
yeah.
Or some things change.
Sure.
Sometimes things change.
Yeah.
Right? So that part of it, and then the plastic bag stuff and cloth bags, it's a good idea. We went over some good reasons to recycle.
Yep.
Did you have any other questions, or can I give you a little bit of a quiz?
You can quiz me. I don't.
I'm gonna.
I may throw the question back at you, but anyway.
But this is, I always say, put your thinking caps on, people, because you know what? My thinking cap doesn't always work or fit very well. So it's easy for me when I'm reading it,
Yeah, and then, there
right?
you go.
But this is this to me, when I see this, and it puts things in perspective for me, that it's like, you know what, Sharon? It's not just you living here. It's not just with the waste you produce or the things you use. There's a lot of us out there,
yeah.
right? So, okay, now, just out of curiosity, see, I call this what's your RQ, recycling quotient? You know, all the IQ isn't that intellectual quotient? Isn't that what IQ stands for?
Yeah, I guess so.
So I'm taking this in
Okay.
RQ.
RQ, okay.
This is recycling.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Now, mining. Before I ask you the question, but when you mine the bauxite ore to make aluminum cans, that's what they make aluminum of, is bauxite ore.
Oh, okay.
It's bauxite ore that has to be mined out of the ground. Okay.
Okay.
It's very polluting. Mining is a very polluting process, and destroys a lot of the surface area. The ground around that area. But when you recycle aluminum, it reduces the energy use from like 90 to 95% less energy is used when they use old aluminum to make new aluminum. And also remember, folks, aluminum can be recycled continuously. Okay, it never loses its quality.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now, whereas paper, about
Yeah.
7 times they figure. I don't know how they can figure that, but they know in that manufacturing process when the fibers are too bad that there's nothing there anymore. Okay, but aluminum, glass, and steel can be recycled continuously.
Okay.
Okay, so people, remember that anyway, because that's not hard to remember that
Right.
way. Okay, now if you stack the aluminum cans, okay, that we throw away in America, the United States, in just 5 weeks, how far would they reach, Elaine?
From everybody
From the whole country. Okay, now would they reach to the top of Mount Everest? Would they be to the moon? Or would it be to the outer reaches of Krypton or further?
What's Krypton?
I don't know.
Oh.
I've just made that up.
All right.
See, this is kind of trying to make it easy.
Make it easy, sure.
Yeah, we don't know where Krypton is, or, is Krypton something Superman used? I don't remember. But anyway, where do you think that if we stack those cans, where would it reach to?
Well, I know it's not going to go to the moon. I think I know that. But
It is.
It is? You're kidding.
In 5 weeks, stack them end to end.
Oh, that is
What we go through for aluminum cans. Okay.
Now that is impressive.
Sure, that's an estimate, but it's they can only how they do their estimates and the
Sure.
stuff. So, but I mean, even if it only got halfway to the moon, that's a long ways, right?
Okay.
So that's how that's what I have to do for
Yeah.
myself is I have to put that kind of thing in. Otherwise, it doesn't necessarily sink in if I don't have a comparison.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say, let's do, the glass, okay? Approximately, and this is an older number, approximately 41 billion glass containers are produced every year in the United States, okay? But it does, when you recycle that glass into new glass, it saves like 25-30% of the energy used versus using all raw materials.
Okay.
Okay? So if the energy saved from recycling one glass bottle will operate a 100-watt light bulb for about how long? Do you think it'd be about 4 hours, about 48 hours, or about 40 days and 40 nights?
I'll say 40. What was the second one?
48.
48.
4 hours or 48 hours? You think?
Okay. I'll say 48 hours.
Actually, it's 4.
Oh.
But that's okay. That's
Yeah.
it's still a long time.
Oh, yeah.
The energy to can burn that light bulb for 4
Sure.
hours is still.
Oh, yeah.
Because you think about all the bottles then, because that's just one bottle. So if you figure
Okay.
they all got recycled,
Yes.
how many get recycled? We could be 40 days and 40 nights,
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
When I have these quizzes, I have quizzes once in a while that I do for the Lyon County, for the employees that I
Sure.
email out. And so I do this because it's not like I want to make it hard. I just want them to think.
Yeah.
You-
And I bet when you go to the schools too, that's something that the kids like to do.
We don't usually do these, but I do other things.
Other
with it.
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do things where it's either they have like a hands-on or the school stuff, and we do different things.
Sure.
We fish in first grade.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Okay.
So yeah, you got to make it. For me anyway, that's how it helps me learn to have visuals and the audio part and to do some comparisons.
Sure.
Okay, so now when you manufacture iron ore, okay, to make steel stuff, it's very polluting, very intensive energy use and everything else, right? But we can recycle it over and over. In fact, it's been being recycled for so long that actually now it has to be in the mix to make new products.
Oh.
They've been recycling steel for so long,
Yeah.
so many years, that actually that's part of the process now is
Oh,
to
it
use
is.
old steel.
Okay.
So when you see like Alter has all, they send this stuff off, that kind of stuff's been happening for years. So,
yeah.
okay, and it can show up in anything,
Yeah.
okay? But annually, though, now think about in a year's time, there's energy saved, right, by recycling steel, right? So, enough energy is saved by recycling steel that they could supply the city of LA, okay, with how many years of electricity? Maybe 2, almost 10, or almost as many years as the hills are old. See?
Yeah.
I'm making it, I
Sure.
try to make it easier. Because I got to throw a little of that in there. So would you say maybe 2 years or almost 10 that they could supply LA with electricity that's been saved in a year?
I'd say 10 years.
Yep, almost 10 years.
I got one right.
You did.
Wow.
Well, and there again, you think, wow.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yes.
So those are the kinds of things that I think to myself, okay, that was the glass again. Plastic.
Okay.
Okay. It's very useful. It's versatile. We know that, right? We know all that. But the main ingredient is oil, basically, okay? And you got additives to it. That's colorants. stabilizers, plasticizers
Yeah.
and stuff. That could include lead and cadmium and stuff. So if you recycle plastic, you're saving oil, right? Because
Sure.
you're reusing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how many kinds of items could be made using some recycled plastic? None, a dozen, or a lot more than could be listed here?
I'll take number 3. A lot more than can be listed.
And I want people to realize that.
Yeah.
So many things can be made. You know, it's like I've got, and I think when those times that I've brought examples here, some of the stuff that's made out of recycled plastic, I'm like, wow, who would ever think that?
Yeah.
Because I have a purse, see, that I didn't bring, because I forget all the time. It's cold, I'm gonna blame the cold. But like I have a purse, and you can get clothing that's made out of recycled plastic. And so when you tell people that don't know that, it does. It's like how you think, how could I take a plastic pop bottle and make a purse or make a
Yeah.
it just still
Just-
blows me away. I
right,
don't care
right.
how long I've known it. I don't care. It's still
Still
I'm like,
is.
are you kidding?
Yeah.
Right? So when you think about plastic and you think about anything you can recycle, make sure, I think one thing I usually try to tell people, because I understand confusion, I totally get that, because things change. Or like when I first started recycling, Elaine, I thought, oh, it had a list of what kinds of plastic I could put in there. Well, come on, this over here is plastic. I want to put that in there too. Well, then after I got my job, I realized, Sharon, there's a reason you can't put in there what they don't want, because they've got to have a market for it. If I take my pop bottle and put it with my shampoo bottle or my milk jug, and they bring it to the factory and it gets mixed in together and they try to melt it down, it's not going to melt right. You're going to have, it's be like I think about pudding. If I'm going to make pudding and I have lumps in it, I kind of think, well, when they mix that plastic together and they melt it down, the one kind will melt faster than the other kind. So in that batch, it's not going to work. So it's actually, people think recycling probably is boring. It's not. I mean, there's a lot to learn about it, and it's an interesting subject, actually.
Right.
And just to learn about stuff. So, being you did so good on your test, there again, I'm so glad that you have me come to be able to talk with you on this, because it's such a good avenue for us to be able to get the word out there.
Sure, that's great. Yeah,
So-
and we like to have that happen.
Yeah,
that's what
because
this program
that's
is
what
about.
it's about, is to get in the information out to the viewers. And different times if I'd see this kind of thing and I didn't know about the subject, I'd be like, oh, good, I've been wondering where to call, where
Sure.
to get a hold of somebody,
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that.
Okay,
so
good,
thank you.
good.
Yes. And they'll have our number and stuff after this, so that'll be
right.
good. That'll be good.
It'll probably be at the bottom of the screen.
Yes,
Yes,
there you go.
good.
So unless there's something else that you have, then, I think we should be good, and make sure people call if they have
That's
questions.
right. That's very good.
That's exactly.
And I just want to applaud you for your devotion to this subject too. And you've been working how many years on
Since
this?
91.
Since 91, and that's really good. And you've been out there getting the word out, and you've been on this program several times. And we've done some recycling when you come, but this was a real good background for all of this.
Thank
and
you.
I'm so
Yes.
glad that you did that today. We'll do some recycling.
Right,
in the
we'll do that
future,
again
but-
too, but I like to be able to, yes, this is why we should recycle.
That's right. So thank you again
you.
for all your work. Thank you for coming here, and
thank
we
you for having
certainly
me.
will see you again soon.
Thank you, dear.